So you think you want to become a reptile breeder, huh? Well, that's a really big and complicated question. As you can see behind me, it can get out of hand really fast and pretty expensive, and it can go a lot of crazy different directions. So why don't we talk about it and see if you really want to become a reptile breeder and what it takes. So one of the things that I ask people when they're getting into this is, do you really want to become a reptile breeder? Or do you just want to have some cool animals? So it's okay to just have, some really cool displays in a living room and something like that, and be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with just being an excellent pet keeper. It used to be a thing where if you weren't breeding, who were you? You're nobody. You can't be in the reptile hobby. But today there's been a big shift in that. And it's been really nice to see people who do live planted stuff, bioactive, all sorts of amazing enclosure builds, custom work, free roaming rooms for their animals. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So first of all, ask yourself, do you want to be a reptile breeder, or do you just want to be a part of the community? Because you don't have to be a reptile breeder to be a part of the community. You can just be a wonderful and loving pet keeper and just find some cool animals and just connect online or in person with everybody and have a great experience in the community that way. So ask yourself that. Do you really want to be a reptile breeder, or do you just want to be a keeper? Because there's no shame in just being a keeper. In fact, one of the nice things about being just a keeper hobbyist is that you don't have to devote an entire extra bedroom to a whole bunch of animals in order to accomplish your goals. You can just have a few in your living room or a nice sitting room, something in your house, some nice beautiful displays, and then your whole place isn't dominated by reptiles like mine is. Not that I'm complaining, I like it this way, but you might not. So ask yourself that honest question. Do you want to breed, or do you just want to have a couple really cool animals? Because having a couple really cool animals is really cool. All right, so now let's assume you've already gone through the motions of figuring out if you just want to be a keeper or a breeder, and you do want to breed snakes, or reptiles for that matter, not just snakes, whatever it may be. Well, the first thing you want to do is just start immersing yourself in the hobby. And what do I mean by that? That means if there are local herp societies, go to meetings. If you've got reptile shops, go meet the people in the community. If there are local shows, go check them out, spend some time out there, get to know some people, talk to breeders, put your name and face out there. And believe it or not, as much as social media can be a problem, that's a really good way to connect with people all over the world. And there are forums, there's groups, there's pages and things like that. And yeah, I have some stern opinions about groups and things, but honestly, to get started, there's a really good network online, Instagram, Facebook, what have you. So you can really get to see what's out there, get to talk to people, get a feel for what's going on in the community without even necessarily having to chime in. You can just kind of cautiously lurk in the background and learn and kind of be shy, and that's okay. But, learn, ask questions. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but essentially, like any good project, you want to be well prepared and informed before you dive right in. Now, that being said, you're never going to learn everything about reptiles all in one day or 1 year or 10 years for that matter. So don't feel overwhelmed about the constant influx of new information. Just be open to it and just be ready to learn. So the second thing, once you've asked yourself that question, I always recommend is just get involved. Be available, be present, put your face and name out there. Don't necessarily start a brand or a company right away. Just be yourself. Go out there and put yourself out there. The more you can make yourself known, be available to people, the more doors and opportunities might open themselves to you. And you might get into some really cool stuff that you didn't even know existed. Like for me, I didn't even know about these red Zeppelin corn snakes before I met my friend Glenn Brooks and had a great time getting to see his collection and just being present. Met him at herp societies. The rest is history. So be present, be involved in the community, the hobby, whatever is available and around you and on social media, and you'd be surprised what you might find. The third point that I would like to make, once you've started immersing yourself in the community and begun to lurk in the reptile channels on social media and go to shows and meet people and network, what you really owe yourself is to find your authentic interest in a species. Don't just jump on a bandwagon because it's popular or you think you're going to make the most money. Find what you love. And sometimes that's easier said than done. Sometimes you gotta, get your feet wet with a few species first and experience things and figure out, oh, maybe I don't like that species, or maybe this is way different than I thought it was. So it's okay to start somewhere, but as long as you're honest with yourself about like, hey, this isn't really fitting, or I'm not really sure I like this, move it on. Or if it clicks, keep it going. But you really owe it to yourself and the animals to find what you truly love. Because ultimately, if you truly love a species, you're going to give it the best time and care that you can. If you're not that keen on it, you're not going to put that much effort into it. Your authentic love and passion for a species and genuine interest will translate. It'll show through in conversation. It'll show through on social media, in YouTube videos, in face-to-face conversations at shows, things like that. If you authentically and truly find a certain species that you love, it'll show. People will be able to pick up on that. They'll recognize it. And that's where you're going to stand out, even if it's a species that's popular. If it's rare species, that'll help, but that's not the end-all be-all. Because you could work with a rare species and it could be a messy, gross, time-consuming animal that you don't really like. So just be honest with yourself. Be open to explore, always willing to learn, but you really, really should find the authentic species that you truly love, because you're going to go further with that than anything else, I promise you. I found carpet pythons, went way deep into them, been in love with them ever since I made eye contact with a big, boofy head female jungle in the back of a cage, looking like she was ready to rock my world. She rocked my world in a different way. She made a huge impression on me instead of hurting me. And now I'm obsessed. So just follow your heart. Do what you love. Work with the species you love. And the rest will fall into place. Fourth point that I would like to make in this discussion of, do you want to become a reptile breeder, and if so, how do you do it? Fourth point I want to make is you're gonna need to have patience. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna take forever, but you shouldn't expect instant gratification. Tortoise, great example of patience. They take forever to mature, takes forever to get them up to size, maturity to breed. These guys go down for winter, so there's 6 months where I don't really see them. And they live very, very long lives. Stunning example of resiliency and patience, and just one foot in front of the other and just keeping on plugging. It's a really good lesson to learn. You just got to be patient. Things will come. If you're following that third point that I just spoke about, being authentic with what you love and the species you love and you work with, the rest will come. But don't force it. Just let it happen naturally. Doors and opportunities will open themselves to you. You'll network, you'll meet more people, you'll get to go do things, you'll fly to different states or countries or what have you, and get to network and do more cool things if you just let it happen. There's an old saying that really does apply to everything, but you don't go into business, you grow into business. So you start somewhere, build a foundation, learn, be authentic, and just work. It'll all come to you naturally. The other thing is, it's expensive, and even more so today than it was 5-10 years ago. So if you pace yourself, you kind of ease into it, you won't go broke real fast. Hopefully. But in all seriousness, everything's expensive. Reptiles are essentially a luxury, so take care of yourself first, but be mindful. Food is expensive, lighting is expensive, husbandry accessories and caging, very expensive. The animals themselves can be expensive, so don't kid yourself. Be prepared to just kind of slowly grow into it, go patiently, and you'll be better off for it. And I think the animals will agree with you on that. Thanks, Rupert. Okay, I swear, my fifth and final point, and then I'll let you guys go, is find good role models or a mentor. Now, mentorships are kind of an old school thing. Role models, I mean, we're so interconnected nowadays with social media and the internet. A role model could really be anybody who has some sort of influence on us, whether we know them or not. It could be a YouTube personality, it could be a researcher, it could be, a neighbor, it could be anybody, it could be a business owner that you look up to. For me, some of my earliest role models and I guess borderline mentors and influences would be Todd Dyer from Psychotic Exotics, Eric Burke of EV Morelia and the NPR network, Owen McIntyre of Rogue Reptiles and the NPR network, Nick Mutton of Inland Reptile, my good friend Travis Johnson of Living Legless, Tony Dorer of Revision Reptiles, Brandon Wheeler of Morelia House, even Terrell Ziegler, who doesn't really do much anymore, but he'll be coming back. You hold him accountable, do that, and he'll be back. Designer Exotics, but a lot of good people have had some serious influence on me over the years, and I promise you I would not be where I'm at without every single one of those people I listed and so many more. And it just goes back to sort of the networking community building that you can do. You're gonna learn from people, and it takes a village. You need a lot of people. You need a lot of support. You're gonna keep learning from people. You're gonna get inspiration from other people too. So, having a role model, somebody who can maybe help you skip some of the mistakes and heartaches that a lot of us make along the way. Somebody who you can learn from. A good example. Somebody who can teach you. Sorry about that, microphone died. Had to charge that for a bit. But anyway, as I was saying, just find a good mentor, find somebody you can trust, learn, and have a good role model whenever you need one. And here to prove that as a wonderful example, this is Skittles here. I produced him. He was a I don't even remember. Anyway, world's first caramel citrus tiger boy that I produced a few years ago. And I got this project and was Eric Burke was gracious enough to allow me to acquire some of these animals, get in on this project. So it ended up being somewhat of a team effort in that regard. So it takes a village. But I'm going to leave it on that. I'm going to let you guys go, finish up enjoying your day. Thank you for sticking with me and hearing my thoughts on what I think it takes to be a breeder, be involved in the community, and have success in whatever it is you're doing, even if you're not going to breed, if you're just going to keep reptiles. Just be true and authentic to yourself. So with that, go check out my sponsors, Reptile Husbandry Designs. If you need any of that awesome 3D printed snake or reptile husbandry and furnishing enrichment items, use code RR10 to get you a discount over there, save you a little bit of money. And if you're going to be doing any shipping this year, please check out my other sponsor, Reptiles Express. They have all the shipping supplies you need, get you great labels, boxes, heat packs, whatever you need. And you can use code Riley50 to get you 50% off the standard FedEx rates for up to 10 labels per customer, save you some money. And with that money savings, you can then go get yourself a USARK membership. Whether you pay for a membership or just sign up, becoming a member of USARK in USARK Florida is very important. Your membership makes a big difference. They're the only body of individuals working to combat any unjust legislation aimed at the reptile hobby. So the least we could do is support those who support us. And speaking of support, if you like what we're going on here and what we've got going, if you want to join the group, please look me up on Patreon. Just Riley Jimison on patreon.com. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on. We've got a Discord community, you get early access to babies, discounts on merch, etc. So if you think that's something you're interested in, you want to join the growing community, please look me up on Patreon, just Riley Jimison. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.